All right, everybody, so welcome to day 7 of 7 days of solar. If you followed along through the whole series, then you probably have a pretty good idea. Solar on RVs really does work. And in the case of my system, been out for a week now and going to be out for a little longer. And the solar has covered all of my needs. So I've been able to work from the road, actually post to YouTube here the videos that you've been seeing, power all of my devices, do my cooking and cleaning, even get a shower now and then, which is still the more challenging thing when it comes to boondocking. So power's no brainer. Water is still something that you got to work around, and unfortunately, not digging a well while I go out to any of these places. All right, interrupted by the phone. Sorry about that. Anyhow, a full week of solar living, and as you can see, it absolutely works well in the RV. And in my case, you know, we don't have the biggest solar panel plant in the world, and we don't have the biggest battery plant in the world. But knowing my system limitations, I'm able to work with it and actually have a really enjoyable time. So I've had a great time visiting with friends, Bert and Janie Gildart and Josh and Lee, and then we met Grinnell and Linda. So visiting with old friends and new friends, it's been a really good time. And the Airstream solar setup has allowed me to camp in places that most other people wouldn't camp at. So I got to stay somewhere free all this week, and I know multiple other BLM locations with the same situation. I'm going to say the Beyond the Water challenge, the other tough challenge, is getting these videos uploaded, not because of power requirements, but instead because of internet issues. So Borrego is pretty saturated when it comes to the number of RVs out there, and everybody on these Verizon cell towers, those towers can only handle so much. So last year at this time, we had spent several months down in Yuma, Arizona at the Imperial Dam long-term visitor area. That place is awesome internet coverage, and we were running off of solar then as well, and it really worked. So, okay, now what are we going to talk about here next? So I talked earlier in the series about some of the challenges. So at night, charging things isn't the greatest idea. If you're charging, you know, some items that really draw a lot off the battery, or if you're running devices like my HEPA filter and the heater and the water pump and the fridge, it all adds up. So I've got to keep in the back of my mind how many amp hours I've got available after the end of the day, so that I'm not running my big monitor over here and instead either using a laptop or using one of my other portable devices. And this is where portable devices really come in handy. So let me reach over here. So here's the iPhone, and the iPhone's got a good battery because I just traded it out because my iPhone 6 battery went crazy after an update. So with the new iPhone 8, I've definitely got power for hours. So I can use the iPhone 8 in the evenings, and I can also use my MacBook Pro laptop because it's got a battery in it and I can just charge it the next day. Bottom line, you know, like for evening entertainment and things, I can use these devices, and I also have another way to power the devices. So if I don't want to draw off of my battery plant and I'm charging during the day, this is an Anker portable power supply. So you can see the little lights on that right there. And I've gotten several Anker devices over the years, absolutely love them. So in the case of this one, this is their 26800, and I'll put a link below for you. But if I don't know if you can see this or not, let's see if it ignores me, and it's probably not going to ignore me. It's still sticking with me. There are 3 USB outputs on this, and then there are 2 charge inputs. So supposedly I can recharge an iPhone like 7 times. I can recharge an iPad multiple times with this. I've never run this down yet. So during the day, when I am charging items in the Airstream, when I'm charging the laptop and charging the camera and whatever else I'm charging, I throw this portable battery system on charge, and I can recharge my iPad, recharge my iPhone, recharge this camera that I'm using to record right now, recharge the GoPro, recharge the GoPro gimbal. I think you get the idea. I can recharge a lot of things off this. It's got 3 USB ports, and it actually quickly charges all of my devices. So when the sun goes down and I don't want to be drawing off the battery plant, or I'm trying to be conscientious about drawing off the battery plant, I can throw devices on this. So I cannot recharge the MacBook Pro off of this, but everything else I have with me I can. So I'm recording the audio with an old iPhone. This is a very old iPhone, and the battery's kind of flaky, but it does a good job running my voice recorder. I've got my iPad over here, I've got my iPhone over here, and I can charge these during the evening off of that Anker portable power supply. So it's really handy, and it's a great way to help me not worry about how much am I drawing down on the batteries. And so the iPad for me is important because at the end of the day when I'm going to sleep, I like a little white noise in the background, so I'll throw on a favorite cartoon that I've got saved to the iPad. And there you go. There's my entertainment for the evening as I'm getting ready to doze off. So there's one way to work around it if you're using a smaller battery plant, is have a portable device like this Anker power supply. By the way, I'm not getting paid by Anker. I have no sponsorships with anyone. This channel isn't big enough. Maybe someday I will. And Anker, if you're out there, I've loved your products for years. This week, 7 days of solar, I think you've truly gotten an idea. This is doable in an RV. Once again, I've got a smaller solar system, and that was by choice, but it is realistic and possible to run items like your microwave or like your air conditioner with a much higher end solar system. So we're talking about lithium-ion batteries, we're talking about a high-end inverter like the Magnum hybrid inverter. You're going to need more. So those lithium batteries, you're going to need a much bigger battery bank. I have a 300 amp hour battery bank. If you even wanted to remotely consider being able to run your air conditioner for a few hours a day, you're going to be looking at a much more expensive power system, but it is possible. So don't think that it is impossible. It really is possible to spend months on end boondocking in really cool locations. Once again, except for the whole water issue. But so when you're considering what you want to do for your power system, for what you're doing with your RV, your Airstream, your travel trailer, your motorhome, you're going to have to take some things into mind. And so hopefully this week you've gotten a couple ideas from me that, okay, you know, the more things I plug in, the more I drain off the battery, the more panels that I need to refill the batteries during the morning and afternoon, etc. And then the helpful quick tips here where, you know, this portable power supply or utilizing my my mobile devices instead of the big computer in the evenings, that's going to save me some battery time too. So we did have really cool nights over this past week, and my heater kicked on regularly during the evenings, and that, you know, that's a propane heater with a blower, so that wears down my power as well. I also had my water pump on all the time. I've still got the water pump on right now. I've got the hot water heater on right now, and as you can see, I did get another shower, so there's one of the other big ones with boondocking. you're going to have to really ponder your water usage and how much water you have. In my Airstream, I've got an interesting layout. So this is a 25-foot, 6-sleeper B&B made in 2004. It's a 2004 that I bought in 2004. The water tank on this is 40 gallons. I've still got water in the tank. The gray water tank is 40 gallons. I've still got room in the gray water tank. Because of the layout, the black water tank is 18 gallons. Let me tell you, you don't want to go to the back of the Airstream right now. I need to dump tanks. And it's becoming really apparent. And so, fortunately, I've got fans to pull out that background smell. Ugh, enough said. All right, I'm going to leave you with some images and some video, just some of my favorite images from this week, shot on the iPhone. So I've been practicing, you know, anyone who's followed me for a long time, you know I'm big into photography, had a gallery for a couple of years, and I've got publications with my images, etc. So I'm big on images whenever I'm out traveling. And over the past 7 days, I have restricted myself to shooting with the iPhone only. So I really wanted to see how the iPhone 8 does. And I gotta say, I've gotten some pretty cool images this week with the iPhone and some pretty cool video with it.